Welcome aboard. It's Newblood 8.7 January 40 Italy turn. We're going to start with some housekeeping before we do our turn. Last time on the British turn, they added a second militia down here in South Africa where they already had one, and it made us all aware of the change in the rule from version 3. You can only build up to the number there, something we had slipped in our mind. So he corrected it by putting them in Cape Town, but that also caused us to realize we needed to correct this Italian, the second militia we built here. So we built it in Tripoli instead. So that was one catch. The second catch in placing the, apologize for the shake, the Burmese Gurkhas down into British Malaya, we realized, looking closely at the map, it's very hard to tell, but Burma doesn't actually touch British Malaya. Siam cuts it off. So what we decided to do for that force that's down there is leave the 4 Gurkhas, because there had been for several turns an unused transport that could have been ferrying them over had we all realized the geography correctly. So we left those alone, and any further reinforcements to British Malaya will have to come by sea, was our agreed upon solution. And then finally, the last bit of housekeeping is just to clarify some of the IPP counts. We had more IPP for France. I think he came in assuming he only had 2, but he actually had 4. So he still built the militia, and those 2 he saved. So now he has 4 in Free France. There were also bonuses that the FEC and Great Britain should have received the prior term before. So it increased their income respectively, cash on hand respectively, by 2. So instead of 1 carryover, it was 2 carryover. And instead of spending everything, the FEC has 2 more. So we just wanted to correct the cash on hand for those countries. And now we'll return you to our regularly scheduled Italian turn. And we'll do text first. So I zoomed in too soon. Apologize. Okay, let me slide this forward a little bit. Italy has 1 major factory and is going for improved construction at a 7 or more.
Can I see this?
Yes.
2.
Sadly, a 2. All right, so no surprise, Italian scientists are lagging behind the rest of the world. Combat. We do have a number of combats. So let me pivot you one more time. Sorry, Soviet Union. I want to make sure everyone can see what we're doing here. In the southern end of Africa, from Tanganyika, we're moving 1 colonial infantry into Rhodesia. That's an unimposed no combat, but it is worth 1 IPP. So just flip that over for the Italian roundel. And then this cavalry from Sudan will be moving 1, 2. It's not a blitz because we're moving through our own country and joining them there. In Upper Egypt, the 2 Italian infantry from Nubia are moving north. So the territory has no combat value. There's no defenders, no IPP value, no defenders. It's just a walk-in. The next 3 battles will all involve combat. So in Transjordan, led by the Iraqi infantry, we have 2 Marines and an artillery attacking Transjordan. Pursuing the fleeing British 8th Army, we have the Italian forces. We're moving in with 1 artillery, 1 motorized infantry, 1 colonial infantry, and 4 regular infantry from Cyrenaica and from the fortress in Tobruk. So they're doing a ground combat. And both Transjordan and Western Egypt are desert terrain. So all land units will be at a -1 on the attack. The final battle is in M4. So the British Mediterranean fleet is scrambling out of its port in northern Italy and moving 1-2, where it's adding the coastal sub to its formation. And it will be doing battle with the British Mediterranean squadron for a winner-take-all naval battle. Additionally, coming up from Abyssinia, 1, 2, 3, 4, having one more, I forgot to get up the markers, but having one more, it'll land at the fortress. So that's where it will land if it survives. And then coming out of Sardinia and the airbase there, we're sending both fighters, 1, 2, 1, 2, and the tactical bomber, 1, 2. So they all came out of an airbase. They all have 3. One of them will be continuing 1, 2, 3, heading down towards the airbase in Abyssinia, and the others will land once we get to that stage. So that is all of the Italian combat. Do you want to do the land? We'll save the naval battle as the climactic finale.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the easier of it. Going into Western Egypt, we have the artillery will elevate, let's say, the colonial. So they'll be 2s. So fire a first strike 2 with the artillery and we're done.
Nope.
No. Okay. So 4, 5 1s.
Hit.
We got 1 hit. Oh, hold on. I backed up. Sorry. Let me move. Don't touch anything. I'll move it up so they can see. All right. So we got a 1, 5, 6, 6, 6. So we did get the 1 hit. Let's keep rolling for overkill. We'll roll
2.
The 2 for the colonial infantry elevated.
Hit.
And we got a 1 as well. So perfect. So that's 2 hits against the 1 British militia who will defend at a 2.
Miss.
12. All right, so that's a miss. So Western Egypt, which, does it have a value? It does.
1.
So that moves Italy up another 1. Let me get the dead bucket. We're going to make a lot of use of it, hopefully, today. So that's between Western Egypt and Rhodesia. That's Italy up to the UK down to. And then the other battle is in Transjordan, where we have 1 Iraqi infantry, 2 Italian Marines, 1 artillery. We'll say the artillery is upgrading the Iraqi. So roll first strike artillery at a 2.
Miss.
Miss. The 2 Marines at 1s.
Hit.
Hit. We got 1 hit. And now the Iraqi infantry at a 2.
Miss.
Miss. So we did get the 1 hit, and the British defend at a 4.
Miss.
Miss. All right. So we didn't have to sacrifice the Iraqis. That's outstanding. They can stay with us. So that completes the 3 ground battles and the only battles that will impact IPP. So I'm going to go ahead and move Italy up 3 from 16 to 19. I'm going to move the UK down 3 from 26 to 23. And the 3 again were Transjordan, Western Egypt, and Rhodesia. Kill bucket. All right. So we did communicate our intent to obliterate his fleet, and Lancerbolt has given us his order of casualties, and more importantly, if he gets a target select on his attack bomber, which of our units he intends to sink first. So we have destroyers on both sides, so the little coastal sub doesn't get a first strike, so we'll roll them in order. So we have the torpedo boat and the coastal sub both rolling ones.
Twos.
Twos. I apologize. Twos.
Nope.
No hits. Okay. We have 4 destroyers rolling 4s.
2 hits.
2 hits. Okay, so his first 2 hits, he said, were damage to his battleships. They'll roll 8 this turn, and then after this turn, they will roll as 6s. Okay. I think that's right. That's right. That's what it's okay. We have 3 light cruisers rolling at 5s with target select on 1, 2, or 3 on the air.
A 2.
A 2, so
and
we get
2 6s from this.
So we get target select. Let's kill his tack bomber so it can't target our fleet. So it still gets to shoot, but that's our targeted hit. Right? You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we get 3 fighters on air superiority at 6. So let's roll them first, and then we'll roll the heavy cruisers.
3 hits.
3 hits. So
2,
that
3, 5.
So that kills his fighter and gives him 2 more hits, which we'll take as the 2 light carriers, right? So it's 3 hits altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put them in the dead thing until they shoot back. And now the 2, go ahead and remove that. The 2 battle cruiser, I'm sorry, 2 heavy cruisers at 6s.
6s? Yeah. 1 hit.
1 more hit, so that will be a destroyer. And then the battleship at an 8.
And the tack bomber.
Oh, did I skip the tack bomber? Yes, tack bomber at a 7, target select. So roll that first. Miss. And now the battleship at an 8.
Hit.
2. So that'll be his second destroyer. Okay, so now we'll roll in the British counterfire. The 2 light carriers will roll at 1s.
Miss.
Both misses. All right. The 2 destroyers shoot back at 4s.
Miss.
Both misses. Those are 8s. I should say the numbers just in case, because you can see them on the screen, but they may have to zoom in. The tactical bomber defending at a 5, and if he hits target select, the target select, he wants to target one of our heavy cruisers. 11. It's a miss. The fighter, air superiority. So if this hits, he kills one of our fighters. 8. Whoa. Oh, this is not going well for the Royal Navy. Admiral Nelson would be ashamed. I'm sorry, Lancer Bull. This is not good. 2 heavy cruisers firing at 6s.
1 hit.
1 hit. All right, so that kills our...
Not the other one.
You want to take the torpedo boat?
Yeah.
All right, we'll kill the torpedo boat. He goes straight to the dead pile. And now his 2 battleships at 8s. That's a 3 and an 11, so a second hit. Now take the... Okay, so now we'll take the coastal sub. All right, so let's remove his casualties. And just so I keep it... move the battleships down to the 6, so I want to call it off. All right, so remaining from the first round, Italy still has all of its air, 4 destroyer, and really all its big surface navy. 4 destroyers, 3 light cruisers, 2 heavy, 1 battleship, and they have the Royal Navy has 2 heavy cruisers, 2 damaged battleships. All right, next round, let's do 4 destroyers at 4.
1, 4, 8, 12.
1, 4, 8, 12. So that's 2 hits. That kills his 2 heavy cruisers. We have 3 light cruisers, 2 of them from the Japanese Navy. Thank you, Emperor. All at 5s.
1.
1 hit. So that's 1. That's the HMS Prince of Wales. Gone. And now we have the 2... Well, you can roll them all together. 5 6s. The 3 fighters and the 2 heavy cruisers.
3 hits.
3 hits, so that obliterates the Warspite. Let's do our overkill. We still have the TAC bomber at a 7. Hit, and the battleship at a 8. Okay, so the transport is destroyed as well. So he has 4 6s, the 2 cruisers, and the 2 damaged battleships firing back.
3 hits.
Wow, 3 hits. All right. So all destroyers, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to take anything else. All right, so we'll lose 3 destroyers, and we have obliterated the pesky British Mediterranean fleet. Okay. Oof. Well done, Egg. The dice have sealed the fate of the Med. So that completes all of our combat. We do have a couple non-combat. Let's start by landing our aircraft. So the one that came up from Abyssinia has to land. We're going to land them at this fortress with the militia. The others went 1, 2. We're going to send one of them, one fighter, 3, 4, 5, and land at the airbase in Abyssinia. I did that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We should send the TAC bomber there too.
You want to send the TAC down there as well? Ooh, put heavy emphasis on South Africa. Okay. And then we'll land the fighter back on the airbase in Sardinia, which really, when I first saw the map, I was like, why is there an airbase on Sardinia? And the answer is, of course, HBG does a lot of research, and the Italians had an airbase on Sardinia. So now the question is, why did they put one there? And I think that's why. It really is effective. All right, other non-combat. Let me just double check my notes, make sure we don't miss anything. We're going to, now that we've cleared this, our transport can safely leave port here, picking up 1 infantry and 1 artillery, and delivering them, actually this is here, and this is 1, 2. We're going to drop them off at the fortress in Benghazi with the fighter and the militia, but so they can reinforce that front. We're going to send the colonial infantry here, and both these here as well, so they can move quickly across the desert to reinforce success. And the 2 colonial infantry, slightly off camera, in Somaliland will move to Tanganyika. All right, so let me recap status of forces. So the Italian fleet that survived consists of 1 battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, 3 light cruisers, and 1 destroyer.
I know it has a transport there as well.
And the transport, which is floating at sea with them. The air base in Sardinia is just 1 fighter. In Tripolitania, we have 1 colonial and 2 infantry. At Benghazi, we have 1 artillery, 1 infantry, 1 militia, 1 fighter. West Egypt.
It's called Tobruk.
Oh, Tobruk? What have I been calling it? Benghazi? Oh, my mistake. Thanks. In West Egypt, we have 1 artillery, 1 motor rifle infantry, 1 colonial infantry, and 4 regular infantry. In Transjordan, we have 1 Iraqi infantry, 2 Marines, and 1 artillery. In Upper Egypt, we have 2 infantry. In Abyssinia, we have a mountain, 2 militia, a fighter, and a tack bomber. In Tanganyika, 2 colonial infantry, and in Rhodesia, a colonial infantry and a cavalry. And that is the status of forces for the Kingdom of Italy. We'll turn it over next to Lancerbolt for the U.S. KMT turn.
Place units.
Oh. Thank you, Eggman. Apologies. I got to place units, and then I should collect income. So we spent all but $1. We're going to put the transport in Port 8 up in northern Italy. The militia upgrade was, where did you want it?
In the city. Tobruk.
In Tobruk is the militia upgrade. The colonial infantry is in Italian Somaliland, and the marine is in northern Italy at the factory. Italy is at 19, so with this $1 saved, they will have 20 left. And I have 19 on the IPP chart, as I said, for Italy, and 23 for the UK, going down 3. Those are the only IPP changes this turn. So with that, now I'll pass it over to Lancerbolt, the US KMT. This is Eggman and Captain G, over and out.